Picture this. A foggy October morning, 1943. The Philadelphia Naval shipyard buzzes with wartime activity. The USS Eldridge sits moored at dock, newly commissioned and unremarkable, until witnesses claim a greenish fog suddenly envelops the vessel. A blinding flash tears through the mist, then nothing. The massive warship vanishes completely. Minutes later, the Eldridge reappears, but something is terribly wrong. Sailors emerge fused into solid steel bulkheads, their screams echoing across the water. Others have gone insane or burst into spontaneous flames. Some crewmen simply vanished forever. Welcome to Mysteries Decoders, where we unravel the mysteries the world doesn't want you to know. Today we dive into the Philadelphia experiment, one of the most enduring conspiracy theories of the 20th century. Was this a catastrophic test of revolutionary technology, an elaborate hoax, or something the military has worked for decades to conceal? Let's decode. The Philadelphia experiment represents the ultimate cautionary tale of classified research gone horribly wrong. According to believers, in 1943, the US Navy conducted tests aimed at making ships invisible to enemy radar, or perhaps literally invisible to the human eye. The core narrative claims that on October 28, 1943, scientists used massive electrical generators to create electromagnetic fields around the Eldridge. Their goal bent light around the ship, rendering it undetectable. But something went catastrophically wrong. The ship allegedly not only vanished from Philadelphia, but teleported nearly 200 miles south to Norfolk, Virginia, before snapping back minutes later. The human toll was reportedly horrific: sailors embedded in steel, men driven to madness, others vanishing into thin air. This story first reached public consciousness in the mid-1950s through the writings of astronomer Morris K. Jessup and mysterious letters from a man calling himself Carlos Allende. But did any of it actually happen? To separate fact from fiction, we must first establish what we know for certain. World War II genuinely represented a quantum leap in military technology. The US Navy was indeed conducting classified research, but not necessarily what conspiracy theorists suggest. One legitimate technology being developed was degaussing, a method to demagnetize ships' hulls to prevent triggering magnetic mines. This involved wrapping ships in electrical cables and generating electromagnetic fields. Project Rainbow did exist, but declassified documents suggest it was merely a code name for radar countermeasure research, focused on making ships less detectable to enemy systems. This legitimate military goal likely seeded later legends. The USS Eldridge itself was real and commissioned in August 1943. But naval records place it nowhere near Philadelphia during October, when the alleged experiment took place. Instead, the ship's logs show it conducted training exercises near the Bahamas. While conspiracy theorists often cite Einstein's unified field theory as the backbone of the Philadelphia experiment, this critical context gets overlooked. Einstein had spent decades struggling to create a theory of everything that would unite electromagnetism with gravity, but this work remained fundamentally incomplete in 1943 and still eludes physicists today. Compare this to the Manhattan Project, where the military successfully transformed theoretical nuclear physics into world-changing weapons by assembling thousands of brilliant minds and pouring billions into development. This genuine scientific triumph shows what's possible with unlimited resources, but it also highlights why the Philadelphia experiment strains credibility. The leap from Einstein's unfinished equations to teleporting a massive warship isn't just unlikely. It's like suggesting Stone Age humans could build smartphones. The gap between theoretical physics and the technology needed for teleportation was, and despite our quantum computing advances, remains as vast as the distance between galaxies. Every great conspiracy needs its spark, and for the Philadelphia experiment, that spark was Carl Allen, who wrote under the pseudonym Carlos Miguel Allende. In 1956, Allen mailed a series of electrifying letters to astronomer Morris Jessup, who had recently published a book on UFOs. Allen claimed to have witnessed the entire incident from the deck of the merchant ship SS Andrew Furuseth. His letters describe the Eldridge vanishing in a greenish fog, then reappearing with sailors fused into the ship's metal like statues of flesh, men driven insane and others bursting into flames or disappearing forever. What made his account so compelling wasn't just the horror, it was his masterful delivery. Allen seasoned his tale with naval jargon, scientific terminology about electromagnetic fields, and references to Einstein's theories that gave his fantastic claims an unsettling ring of authenticity. But the story quickly unraveled under scrutiny. Naval records proved the Furuseth wasn't near Philadelphia during the alleged experiment. When investigators finally tracked Allen down, his account shape-shifted with each telling, sometimes adding elaborate new details, other times mysteriously retracting key elements. Family members described him as someone who blurred fantasy with reality, casting serious doubt on his reliability. Yet despite these contradictions, his story resonated deeply with Cold War anxieties about secret government experiments and unchecked scientific power. But why did Allen's narrative capture public imagination so effectively? The strangest twist emerged in 1957 when Morris K. Jessup, a respected astronomer turned UFO researcher, received a call from the Office of Naval Research, or ONR. To his astonishment, they wanted to discuss a heavily annotated copy of his book, The Case for the UFO, that had mysteriously arrived at their offices. This annotated version contained detailed handwritten notes in 3 different colors of ink discussing the Philadelphia experiment, advanced technologies, and alleged alien involvement in human affairs. The ONR found these annotations intriguing enough to contract the Varro Manufacturing Company to produce a limited photocopied version, now known as the Varro edition. Why would naval officials take interest in such bizarre annotations? Did they suspect genuine leaks of classified information, or were they simply intrigued by speculative theories about electromagnetic warfare? Jessup himself became increasingly disturbed by the Varro edition. In 1959, his lifeless body was discovered inside his car, overcome by carbon monoxide, officially declared a suicide. Yet questions linger in the shadows of doubt. Did his mysterious research lead to his demise, or was he simply consumed by the darkness of personal despair? The circumstances surrounding his death continue to fuel speculation and intrigue decades later. Could modern science validate any aspect of these extraordinary claims? Today, researchers have indeed achieved limited forms of invisibility using metamaterials capable of bending specific wavelengths around small objects, but nothing approaching total optical invisibility for large vessels like destroyers. Quantum teleportation experiments have successfully transmitted quantum states between particles, but teleporting physical objects remains firmly within science fiction territory due to insurmountable energy requirements and fundamental physical limitations. Even if theoretical frameworks existed during World War II, the sheer energy required would have been impossible to generate using contemporary technology. So why do these scientifically implausible claims persist despite overwhelming evidence against them? Like many enduring conspiracies, the Philadelphia experiment has spawned connections to other mysterious military programs, including alleged links to Project Rainbow and later claims surrounding Montauk Project experiments at Camp Hero on Long Island. Montauk lore suggests survivors from Philadelphia were subjected to mind control experiments involving psychological warfare techniques and even time travel portals continuing into the Cold War era. Yet skeptics argue these narratives are imaginative fiction designed purely for entertainment rather than historical accuracy. Could these interconnected conspiracies represent attempts at myth-building around genuine Cold War anxieties about government secrecy? Or is there something deeper connecting them beneath layers of official denial? Whether fact or fiction, the Philadelphia experiment has permanently embedded itself in our cultural consciousness. The 1984 film The Philadelphia Experiment introduced the story to mainstream audiences, dramatizing the alleged events and adding a time travel element. Television shows, from The Twilight Zone to modern series like Stranger Things, have incorporated elements inspired by this story. Books, video games, and online forums continue to explore and expand the narrative. Recent viral videos have attempted to connect the Philadelphia experiment to quantum computing breakthroughs and modern military technology. Why does this particular story resonate so powerfully? Perhaps because it combines legitimate historical elements with profound human fears about technology outpacing ethics. The image of sailors fused with metal serves as a visceral warning about the potential human cost of scientific advancement without moral constraints. The Philadelphia experiment stands as one of the 20th century's most persistent mysteries, a perfect storm of wartime secrecy, advancing technology, and human fascination with the unknown. Was it a catastrophic military experiment, a fabrication born from misunderstanding, or something in between? The evidence points strongly toward legend rather than fact. Yet certain elements, like the ONR's interest in Jessup's annotated book, continue to raise questions that resist simple answers. Perhaps the most compelling aspect isn't whether it happened exactly as described, but what it reveals about our relationship with technology, secrecy, and fear. What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed decoding this fascinating event, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Mysteries Decoders. Our community of inquisitive minds is only growing, and your voice is vital. Spread the word, share this video with your friends, your skeptical colleagues, and family members. Who knows what we'll decode next? Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay questioning, and stay tuned to Mysteries Decoders.